for Golden Skate. And today I'm very happy to be joined by Phoebe Bekker and James Hernandez of Great Britain. You two had great success on the junior circuit last season, fourth at the Junior Grand Prix final, and then also with a very close margin, fourth at Junior Worlds. Let's get to know you two a bit better. And when I did my research about you two, I found out that you're still quite a new team. Like only 2 seasons together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So maybe let me start. Maybe we start with like, yeah, how did you two meet up and how did you become an ice dance team?
Cool. Well, it was just after COVID. So 2020, that's when everything was like kind of still in its peak. And yeah, I guess after that, you were looking for a partner, and I was still looking around and kind of still training over COVID. And then there was an opportunity for me to skate with another guy, and and I was like nearly ready, packed everything. I was going to move to France.
And then Penny, our current coach,
Penny Coombs, yeah.
I was here in the States with them, and we made the call to Phoebe's current coach at the time. The issue was there was a travel ban between the US and the UK, and Phoebe was still in the UK and I was in the US. So, and rinks in the UK at that point were still shut. So there was only really one place we could kind of have a tryout, and that was here, but no way of getting Phoebe here. And so Phoebe went to Serbia with her dad, and I flew from the US to Serbia, and we spent how long there?
Yeah,
3 weeks in the end.
3 weeks. Yeah, I called off everything. I was like, sorry, gotta go skate with James.
And then we came back here, and that was the beginning of November of 2020. And we kind of officially said sort of we'll see until Christmas. We'll skate until Christmas. It was a trial period, a free trial. And if it worked out, and sort of within the first week, well, actually sort of within the first day, I think we all knew it was going to be a good fit.
Yeah.
And it went from there.
I think we were very lucky. It was kind of a match that was just like, let's see how it works. And I think the match was pretty good match. And yeah.
Definitely. So wow, that's a typical COVID story.
Yeah, we've got a good few of those.
So yeah, you got some of the best out of it seems like. Yeah. So Phoebe, you have also been a solo dancer before, right? But I just heard that you also did already some ice dance before James, or is James your first partner?
Yeah, so James was my second partner. I did solo dance until 2019. I did 2 nationals and won them both. I was very happy with those. And then that's when I kind of was looking for a partner. It was the idea came up to me, was like, how do you feel about skating with a partner? And I was like, yeah, I like skating by myself, but we'll see how it goes. I did a few tryouts and then I fell in love with it. I really enjoyed it. And then I had my first partner and I trained in London, in England, and I was there for about a year. I was very new to it, so I think there was a lot of patience that was had with me because I was still figuring out everything, and it was definitely a process. And then I definitely feel like I got to a point at the end of that year where I felt like I've improved and I really enjoyed it and I wanted to keep going with it. And that's when things didn't work out with my previous partner, and I was like, I want to start looking for new partners, and that's how we started with that. Yeah,
great. James, what about you? I read you began skating very young at the age of 4. But I guess you started as a single skater, as probably everyone, or how did you come to ice dance?
We had very, very successful single skating career, didn't we?
Yeah. So I started, so the first time I think I skated I was 4. And thanks to my sister actually for that. She got into skating first and I kind of followed in her footsteps, I guess. And I always did freestyle and dance alongside each other for a long time until about I think I was 13. and I got my first ice dance partner, and I just honestly really loved it. And I was still doing freestyle at that point, and I was still doing solo dance as well. But when sort of that partnership was forming and getting better, I realized I think this is what I want to do properly. And there was never any pressure from different coaches, oh, we want you to do this, or we don't want you to do that. It was very, do what actually enjoy the most. And so I did, and then sort of pursued ice dance properly from 13 onwards. So for quite a while now.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you're just still rising, and you're together with your partner for 2 years.
Together we're still quite new.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, you gained so quick success, and you were already much better in your second season. What do you think made you improve so much? What are your strengths?
I don't know. Well, I think our first year was kind of, for me especially, was just trying to get used to the environment, getting used to competing in big competitions, and competing with someone else as well. It was kind of learning the ropes of everything.
Yeah, I suppose we both had for that first season, we had very different experiences that we were then combining when we were competing together. So I'd had one partner for a very long time, and then all of a sudden you're with a new person, and you know that person works differently, responds differently. So it was learning how to restructure that. And also for Phoebe, she'd never actually done it before, or very limited, so it was a whole new thing. So we were both like coming at it like this, and then we didn't have good strong preparation for that first season, simply because, you know, we effectively started so fresh. We had to make programs before we even knew how to skate with each other, but we obviously wanted to compete, and that season provided us with really good experience. And we were really critical after the season, coming into this previous season, of what we're going to do. And we actually just had months and months to work on skating with each other, and developing, not only on the ice but off the ice as well, understanding our motivations as individuals, our triggers as individuals, and things that really contributed to, you know, last season being really, really successful, and one we want to replicate every year, hopefully.
Yeah, I think finishing up our last season, the season before last season, I think there was like a fire of like wanting to do well last season, so the season just gone. I think we had a really good opportunity there, and I think we just took it and ran with it. And
you just I just said at the beginning, your last season was a great success, but like, how would you describe it yourself?
I don't know. I loved those programs so much. But I think overall it was such a learning process as well, like it always is. But I think we learned so much this season, training wise, competing wise, and it was just, I really loved this last season. The opportunities we had and the events we got to go to, like Grand Prix final was such an amazing event, and
so few people in the scheme of skating get to go to. It was such a special,
and that was one of our biggest goals. So we got there and we were like, wow, this is so surreal. And then obviously doing well at Junior Worlds as well. It's just been, I feel like this season has gone like really how we wanted it to, and we're really happy with it.
We set goals at the beginning of the year, really clear goals, you know, the main one being we want to medal on the Junior Grand Prix circuit and qualify for the Junior Grand Prix final. And I think what that taught us was, you know, you can set goals, but then there is a process to achieving them, and we followed that process, and we trusted ourselves, we trusted each other, we trusted our coaching team, and we achieved them. And then more, you know, we said at the beginning of the season, we want to come really high at Junior Worlds, and all of a sudden they're words, but then it's, you know, changing those words into actual reality. And we learned that is a process. And throughout the year, you know, we made different mistakes in different places, and now at the end of the year we've then looked back on that and gone, we made that mistake which led to that, but also we did that really well, which contributed. So it was, you know, step by step, it was really, really positive. But looking back, we actually learned a lot as well. We learned to overcome a lot. We learned to run when we were doing well, and we learned when to just trust it ourselves. So yeah, it was a brilliant season.
I remember being at our first Grand Prix, and we were wanting to medal. We were wanting to be like happy with third. We came out in second, and then first thought was like, what do we need to do to get to the final? It was almost like we didn't even think of our long-term goals. It was just like, what are we doing now? What are we doing in this current competition now? And then when we came to our second Grand Prix, we were like, okay, wow, we have an opportunity to get to the final and do really well at Worlds. And it was kind of like the building blocks. It was it was, you couldn't process everything all at once. You had to really take it step by step, otherwise you just get really overwhelmed. You're like, oh no.
I'm not sure we could tell you a huge amount about immediately after those silvers that we got, because we were thinking about what that opportunity then opened for us next.
And you have step by step, it was always getting better and better. You were also the first British couple I heard to qualify for a Junior Grand Prix final. Do these trivia things, do these mean something to you, or like does it motivate you?
Yeah, it does. I think when you're the first sort of athletes to do something for your country, it's always it feels important, but at the same time we didn't want to, we had a lot of people saying to us at nationals, because our nationals was right before the Junior Grand Prix final, so we had the whole support alongside Lila and Lewis of everyone saying, oh, congratulations, and oh, you're the first team. And we had to be really careful not to overdo that and tell ourselves that too much, because ultimately we put enough pressure on ourselves without anybody else or anything, because we hold ourselves to such high standards. And the last thing we wanted to do was be getting off the plane and it being like, oh my gosh, we're the first people to walk off the plane, we're the first people to so we told ourselves that, and actually we used that to give us confidence that what we'd achieved up to that point was, I think it was Nick that said, you're the first team to achieve this, but it doesn't stop there. We're not going just to turn up, so keeping it real.
So then Junior Worlds came, and I mean, I just said you missed the podium like so closely. I think it was an extended lift. Phoebe, you mentioned afterwards you had like mixed feelings and emotions about the outcome. How do you feel about it today?
My gosh, it's been a while now, so it's got time to process it. When I came off the ice and got interviewed by you, you were like, what's going on? I had no idea what I was feeling. I was like, I don't know what's just happened. Like, I think it took so long to process, and I've been thinking about what I would say to this question, but I think overall it was just like a really tough pill to swallow. I think it was just the fact that it was so close was just such a heartbreak. And it was like, from an extended lift, I think we've spent months just like, oh, extended lift, like, it kind of ate away at us for a while, because it was just such a stupid mistake that it could be classed as was not an extended lift. It could have been. I think that was what was really hurtful to us, because we
skated everything. We skated the program the best we have all year, and we have not done those programs in training or in competition better. We just gave everything, and throughout the year at each competition we skated well, but we made mistakes and left points completely out there on the ice. And when we got our score, we got off the ice, we were really happy, because we knew that was what we were capable of. And you hope and you trust in what your coaches tell you, which is, if you do this, you execute all of this, you have a chance at this. And we really felt like getting off the ice, that put us in a really good position to medal, which honestly was the goal. We knew we were capable of it, and that was the goal. And so when I saw that extended lift, and we all saw that extended lift, and how that then cost us the bronze, we did go and check the duration of the lift. And to this point we still can't time it over 12 seconds. we believe it was under, and not just the feeling. You know, when you train something every single day for, I think 10 months, we were working on that lift, because it was, you know, a combination lifts take a bit longer, especially with the rotational aspect. And you know, you start to know when one feels long, you start to know when one feels short, or you're short on rotation. You know, you do something every single day, multiple times, you know, you have a feeling. So I did have the feeling it felt under. And then we went and checked, and on video and our recording, our timing does have it under, but ultimately there's nothing we can do. Our federation, it's in their hands as to what they wanted to do with that, but it doesn't change anything. We finished 4th, and that's what the results say. But as Phoebe said, a very hard pill to swallow, you know.
Definitely. Yeah, exactly. And I can imagine if it just doesn't feel, you can't understand it yourself, it's even much harder. Yeah.
It's really hard to understand, because I think that probably space of 10-20 minutes, it was just like a blur, like
elation to
it was
feeling very low.
I think we came off the ice from that free dance, and I watched it back, and I was like, I just don't look excited at all, because we were just like so relieved and exhausted, and everything was left on the ice, to the point where, you know, I took a deep breath before I came off and saw Nick, because I was like, you know, there's
Whatever
nothing else.
happens, yeah.
There's nothing else
literally
that we could have done.
Yeah,
and
we saved up every ounce of energy, didn't we?
And I knew, like, because we had the disappointment at the final as well, of, you know, placing 4th after coming 2nd. I knew that, you know, the free was not, I wouldn't say a weakness of ours, but it definitely was part where we would come down a little bit. And I knew that there was possibility going into that kiss and cry. I was like, you know, we might not. So it being so close was like, oh, it was just such a heartbreak. I think we both had time off straight after Worlds. I went home for 2 weeks, and it was a really hard 2 weeks, because I wasn't around the people I was with every day. You know, I was trying to process everything that just happened at Worlds. And you know, you eat like, it eats away at you, and there was just nothing that you could do. Like, we're in a sport where pretty much everything is in your control. Like, you can be in control of a lot of things.
It's not like tennis, where how good your opponent serves dictates what you do next. We're in control of everything, apart from what we receive at the end of the day, which is the scores. And I think exactly what you said. It was we went through a lot in the season, both of us individually and then together. And it just felt like on the day, we just gave every ounce of energy we could possibly have. I've never hunched over at the end of a performance in my life. Never. I've never in training. I've never in competition. But at the end of that program, we had nothing. But ultimately, you know, we don't look back with completely bitter memories. Because ultimately we did what we set out to do. We'd skated 2 programs that we are really, really proud of, and will be forever, no matter where our career goes or whatever. We have those, and we worked so hard for them.
Yeah, definitely. You can be so proud of yourself, and I can imagine that it takes some time to get to that point, to see that yourself. And especially with your free dance, I think it received like so much love from fans. Did you notice that? Or like
yeah. No, it was definitely a program we grew into. I think we knew it was going to be a tough one picking it out at the beginning of the year, and you know, I think it really all came together at the end. Like, the program we like showed at Worlds was like mounds higher in standard than at the final. Even like I think like it was
that wasn't luck. That was just hard,
and it wasn't even that long afterwards. You know, everything just came together, and yeah,
you will have that forever. And yeah, let's move forward to the next season. I guess. So yeah, next season you'll be moving up to the senior ranks. How do you feel about that challenge?
It's a challenge, but honestly, we feel absolutely ready. We feel like we learned, because of last season, the things we learned, the competitions we went to. We got to watch the senior Grand Prix final as well. So that kind of showed us the goal. and like firsthand in front of us. And I think we both believe in ourselves and together to know that this is what we're ready for now, I think. And yes, it is a challenge, absolutely. We're going against world champions and things, but we know what we want to achieve.
So what do you want to achieve? What goals did you set for yourself for next season? Where do you plan to improve?
It's a very different one, coming from like the top of juniors to finding your place in seniors, because end of last season it was very much like, oh, we want to get this, like we wanted to get to a certain placement, or we wanted to get to the final, but like I think that our goals are shifted very differently this year, of just being like, we want to make a good impression, we want to feel like we fit in seniors and make a mark,
show up skate like us
show up and and like really deliver what we can achieve so that in the future, then that would be the point where we would be contenders for high placements, and that's ultimately the goal at the end, coming up to later in our career.
Do you work on anything specifically technically, like lifts, twizzles, or like just improve generally on everything?
Yeah, no, we keep really we keep really specific in what the goals are each week, and our coaches are very, very good at splitting and deciding what time is best to work on what, and a lot of it for us this time of year, or a little bit earlier actually, we're kind of into June now, is like this, just skating and showing that we really want to improve our skating skills,
taking up space and power and
proper technique and things, and not glossing over that and jumping straight into like the point scoring elements, I guess, as it were, because like you have your elements, but then everything in between is something you really want to be able to fall back on, and we want to be able to fall back on, and so it's there's element specific stuff, but also we just work a lot on even if it's not choreography, working on little segments of like turns in a footwork, that and keeping improving in small areas like that.
Great. Do you have any like long time goals for your career, like something you look
champions? No, I'm joking. Well, I mean, I think it's easy to be like, oh, we want to achieve this placement or whatever, but apologies,
no problem.
I'm a big believer in if you're enjoying the journey, that's all you can really hope for. Like I think that's the most important, really, to just you get all these experiences and all of these opportunities of being an athlete. Like I think that you can really just lean on that and just enjoy this life. Like I feel like it's
we have a pretty
very
cool
rewarding.
Life, don't we?
It's very rewarding, and it's surrounded by so many amazing people, and I think that's ultimately what you're going to look back on and enjoy, no matter where you place at the Olympics or Worlds or Europeans. But yeah, I mean
that's what you said before, like you're depending on yourself, and result based is always like depending on other people and how other people skate. So
ultimately, like anything in sport can happen. You never know, things can change very, very quickly, so we try to keep it as present as possible, but with the outlook of we know what path we're on. Obviously we know there's an Olympic Games in X number of years and X number of years after that, and of course we want to go. It's what you train for, but also it's understanding of, if that's all you think about, you just miss out on so much in the short term. So we take it season by season, we take it week by week, and like Phebe said, in our goals for this season is every event we turn up, we give everything we've got, and keeping it like that.
Great. So what can you tell already about your new programs? So far, you haven't revealed anything. Like, when do you plan revealing, or like what can you tell in general?
Been given the go ahead to let you know what we're skating to. So You'll be knowing firsthand. I mean,
So-
we didn't announce anything just because we were just like,
We were just working on it all. We were just working on it, honestly. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But how is the process? Are both programs done, or are you right now?
Yeah,
Yep.
both programs are, I mean, fully choreographed at this point. So do you want to do it, or
Which one would you prefer to announce?
I'll do rhythm dance.
Okay.
Okay. So this might be controversial, but we are doing Prince for our rhythm dance.
Oh wow.
We wanted to do something that was very well known. We wanted to do something that people could relate to, and it could be fun, and the music just sounds so good on the ice. Like, we tested out so much music. We had
So much
many,
so that people kept
so
thinking
many-
we were skating to completely random things, and we were
Yeah.
like, wait, what?
We did try. We looked at some really original pieces. We you know, we were playing around with Total Eclipse of the Heart. Like, there was some really like random pieces that we were going for, but like nothing just felt like it was skating music. Like, you know, there's so many 80s music, but to skate to it is a completely different thing.
And for almost 3 minutes.
Yeah,
have
3
it
minutes.
kind of tick all the boxes. And
I think it's so good that we have a concept as well. It's really enjoyable to, you know, be able to portray a concept and, you know, really go with a storyline and, you know, with a theme. I think it's been really fun to choreograph too, and Nick and Penny have done such a good job. We're really excited to show it because it's a really fun program. It's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. What songs exactly do you have, or is it like a
so
yeah,
we won't say that right now.
I
oh,
think
we won't.
No, but they are not, they are, we'll say this, some have been used before and some have not.
yeah.
So there's multiple songs. Some have been used before, some have not.
Yeah,
I see.
We wanted to, you know, it's always hard when you pick music of everyone skated to everything ultimately. Like, skating's been around for so long, and there's such a rich history of ice dance, like especially. And there's less music that's really good that's made every year to always use something new. And honestly, like Phoebe said, we wanted to have something that people could relate to. And I think, you know, with the 80s, it's quite a fun theme. But we wanted to do something that suited both of us, you know. So, and we found that Prince really, really ticked that box. And we love it so far. And there's still a long way to go, but we really love all the tracks.
I think we're very lucky that I feel like we can skate to a lot of different pieces of music. So I think we took this theme and we really just went with it. And we didn't beat around the bush. We didn't do anything that we were very used to, like anything like bluesy or like, you know, we did, maybe a little bit, but like we definitely did get out of our comfort zone with, you know.
Yeah, it's not slow.
It's not. Definitely not.
Let's say that it's not slow.
Okay, I see. That's really interesting. So yeah, of course, associations come with Prince, of course, with the Hanyu program, I guess. But I mean, you're ice dancers, and was it a concern like that this big skater skated to this, or not at all?
Tessa and Scott.
Did
of course, yeah.
Also, Four Seasons, like some like countless times we've
you made it your own. Yes.
Yeah, we kind of made our own version of that, and it's our intention to make our own version of this. But we know that's hard. We knew that was hard for Four Seasons as well. So I guess we knew that when we picked it.
Right. So what about the free dance?
Free dance. Oh, that's me, right?
Oh yeah.
So our free dance is a medley of a few different Muse songs.
Oh wow.
So,
I went to a Muse concert last week, so you really got me. Yeah.
So yes.
Send some videos and then we can we get some inspiration out of it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yes. Finding free dance music was tough. Yeah, it was very tough, wasn't it?
Awful.
It was, at times we both just looked at each other and were like, we
had so many mental breakdowns about it.
And then all of a sudden we were just like, hang on a minute. We like played, but we listened to it, but just kind of were so down in the dust about it that we didn't listen to it properly. And then we listened to it again and we were like, okay, done.
Yeah.
Done.
When we were all at Worlds and me and Nick were speaking, we were looking at a practice, and we were thinking about what music we wanted to skate to. I've always loved Muse, and I think it's just such good figure skating music. Yes, it's been overdone. Yes, it's been done a lot before, but for good reason. Like, it's such good skating music, and I think that we went with tracks from Muse that I don't think I've seen done before.
No, they've never been done.
So you could say, yeah, Muse is overdone, whatever.
But no one says.
But like,
I also wouldn't say that, because as you just said, there are so many songs that haven't been used.
Exactly. So that's what I was gonna say. So yeah, we're really excited about it. I think it fills the rink so much, and there's just so much like heart behind it. Like, it's such like meaty music. Like, it's so like there's so many different layers, and it was really hard finding freelance music this year, just because we didn't know what concept we wanted to go through. We didn't know, we wanted to make an impact, we wanted to be something that people knew, but then obviously not something that's been, I don't want to hear that again.
It's so hard, because like ultimately at the end of a season, at the beginning of a season, you have to make a decision on whether you go really original and skate to something that nobody skated to before, but you love the music, you love it. That's really, really, really hard to find, because typically really good music people know. So we found that these tracks of Muse have not been done, and we love it, and we think other people will love it. So in that sense, it's actually really original. Yes, it's by a well-known band,
but
people have skated to, but the composition of it that we've done is very, very different, and so it feels very original, which really excites us as well. We don't feel like we're living up to anything. We can make it ours.
I'm really excited for it, for sure.
I'm really excited. I'm glad you are. Yeah,
that's right. Is it like the Prince and Muse? Is it also like this kind of music you listen to yourself in your free time, or is it?
I've been listening to so much Prince recently. It's like concerning.
She keeps coming in and saying, "Can we change the rhythm dance music to this Prince song?" And we're like,
"This more."
That's why we won't tell you the songs, because if we tell you them now, and then Phoebe comes in and goes, "I like this more," and then everyone goes, "Okay," then.
And for Muse, like, I've always loved Muse. I've listened to Muse so long, and this specific song that we skated to, it was like I was listening to on repeat, and when Nick mentioned it, I was like, yes, I love this. But I never really thought
about that interaction.
I never really thought like that was what we would skate to. But when you have such an open mind about things, you're like, yeah, that will work, that'll be good, that'll be great. Yeah, we did actually have another concept, and we were really trying to make it work, and it really wasn't. So Muse was actually our backup idea, but it turned out being like
a lot better,
so much better, and just we're very happy with that we landed on it. Yeah,
perfect. It sounds so exciting. So do you know how you will build your next season? I mean, you will probably go to Europeans and Worlds. At least you have great chances, as your great colleagues Lila and Louis got you the spots. So yeah, are you looking especially forward to these events, or like how do you plan your next season?
Yeah, we're very grateful for them for giving us that opportunity almost.
And giving Britain, and everyone else the 3 spots at Europeans is amazing. Not just for us, but hopefully others as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think, building the season and planning for the season is hard, as it's our first year senior. We're not used to the length of that season, as it were, even though I know it's not too long from when Junior Worlds was to Senior Worlds, but it's longer programs as well. It's something we're just going to get used to, training more
longer programs.
intensively for that as well. So I think with the competitions, we've sat down and had a very base idea of we want to try and space them out like this, and training in North America as well. We have to be smart about going back to Europe, because the jet lag's not so fun, honestly, and we've actually got a lot better at that now, and have all the right strategies in place to deal with that. But North American worlds for the next 2 years actually. So that's really exciting and just really positive for the sense of less traveling. But we're very excited. Hopefully Europeans and worlds is obviously we want to qualify for them.
Yes.
We're definitely battling the balance of how many challenges we're going to. As you said, traveling to Europe is is tough, especially because we're in America. Like the finances of getting back to Europe, like for a week for competition, there's challenges that don't get paid for. I think that that's going to be something that will definitely weigh up our season. We're obviously wanting to do as many as possible, but unfortunately that's not gonna that's not gonna come out of nowhere. So we have to be smart and use what we have, resources we have, to benefit us, and not just waste everything. Let's go to all these competitions and then not get better with them. So it's finding a balance of financially funding our training as well as funding our experience for competitions this year. So yeah.
It sounds like you're very eager to compete and
yeah.
we love competing, and it's honestly not just on us, but on the role of our coaches to decide when's best, where's best, and we're still kind of in that process right now.
I think our coaches like when we compete as well. I think me and Nick like taking all the photos of the new places. So we're big.
Cool. We just mentioned Lila and Lewis before. I mean, they have been big ambassadors of British ice dance and really pushed the sport. How is your relationship to that team, and that maybe you learned?
Yeah, so I actually grew up in the same ice rink as Lila, and we had the same coach for almost 4 years, I think, maybe even actually 4 years, but we were quite young, so we were really good friends then. And then as training took a sort of different routes, and also I've competed junior, we compete junior, they've competed senior, we haven't had too much competition crossover apart from the Grand Prix final where they hold the events together. So it was actually really great there. We got to support them and spend some time with them, get to know them better, and it actually just made us really excited. For the years to come, we'll be hopefully going to quite a few events with them and getting to know them even better, and I'm sure having a really good time. So yeah, really excited.
So about them, so in general, who would you say are your idols in ice dance, who you look up to?
I was thinking about this one. I think comparison is such it's for different people to different personalities. They comparing and stuff. I do like to compare, but then also you are your own skater at the end of the day. So it's very easy to be like, oh, I want to be like that person, but really you're just progressing yourself. So you can take inspiration from people. I've always loved Tessa Virtue. I think that her power and her strengths really shine through skating, and I definitely take massive inspiration from the way she commands an ice rink and an audience. So I would definitely say that with her successes, and she just seems like such a genuine lovely person as well, to carry that grace with being so successful. I think that that's definitely something that inspires me, and it's an aspiration. So yeah, I would say that she's probably one of them. Yeah.
Mine's not that mine's cringy, but
there you go.
no, my biggest sort of inspiration in skating is actually Nick. Growing up, I watched him and Penny more than I watched anybody else, and that was never with the intention of being their student one day, but honestly, getting to work with him every day and Penny, his skating is, I do genuinely think he's probably one of the best male skaters ever in ice dance. He is an incredible skater, not only technically but performance wise as well. And have always looked up to him and still do, and hope one day I can be anywhere near as good as him.
Yeah. I mean, he is also still just a very young coach, right? And yeah.
Trust them. It was you know, I love having like young coaches. I think that we get to be so, like, I think the vibes are just so like friendly. It's, you know, it's not like, oh, coaches, obviously we respect and, you know, whatever, but you know, it's very much like we're working together as a team instead of like, oh, like bow down to your coach sort of thing.
Yeah, like the fearful, you know,
it's a very nice environment. Yeah, they create a very nice environment for us
that we respect and we trust them wholeheartedly. And I think, you know, coaches now are kind of younger, and just, you know, they left the sport so recently, but had some of the best coaching from some of the best coaches of previous generations for many generations. So they kind of amalgamate all of those coaches into two people that are very wise and we trust a lot. Yeah.
Also sounds like you want to stick with them like for longer and not move to like a huge other skating rink.
We have no intentions of moving. No.
I think also I think we have the best opportunity where we are. Like we have dedicated time with coaches. We have pretty clear ice, and you know, there's a few other dancers, you know, so we do have that other competitive and, you know, some inspiration from them, but at the end of the day we're getting full-time coaching, and that's something that you would not get from, you know,
other places,
or, you know, like busy places. And you know, having that connection like with your coaches, I think that that's something that we love and appreciate so much. And you know,
we also work, so Nick and Penny are our main coaches, and we spend the most time on the ice with them, but we also work with a incredible lady named Jana, and she's our ballet coach, but also works with all of our artistry on the ice and sort of the finish of everything. So she does like all of our expression, all of our arms, all of our heads, and like she is just one of the best people I think on planet Earth. She just understands what it means to be a human, I think I always say, and understands, you know, what it means to be an athlete. You know, she's an ex-Bolshoi ballet dancer, so came from a really tough environment, and so you would think that she's this awfully scary lady, but she's not. But she just gets it, and she gets us, and we get her, and she's so creative, and we love working with her as well. Nick and Penny love working with her as well. They worked with her during their competitive career. And so, you know, we really have everything here, and we're so grateful.
We definitely have a really good team behind us, so there's just no thought, no question of moving.
Stay there for longer. Sounds really amazing. So you moved for that to the US. Like, how is moving as a British person to the US? Like, how was that process?
No, so also I don't have a work visa, so you know, there's certain things I can't do here. There's things that I feel like you know, that's like simple things like opening up a bank account, can't do that.
Yeah, you know? There are just a lot of barriers to, I think people don't realize. It's like, oh, you know, when I grew up, I saw people that moved abroad for training, and it's like, oh, they're so lucky and all of this, and there was this sort of privilege of being able to go and move abroad, and there are so many barriers to it, not just financial. Like it's really hard, you know. Ultimately, you know, family is another thing. Like your family's far away, and in times of, you know, hard times in training, you know, you don't have those closest people around you. And so you learn to cope with other people in other ways. But you know, there are a lot of barriers, but we do love it here. And
we're very lucky. Weather. So this is my host family's house. So I was very fortunate to find this amazing host family who is my family now. Like I see them as like blood relatives at this point.
Wow.
I've been with them for a few years, and you know, they are my support system, my support unit away from my parents. Like they're on a call away, but you know, immediate people I come home to, you know, it's we're both very lucky to have support systems around us that make it so enjoyable, like living here. I think it can be such a scary thing. Like we both moved here really young. So I moved here when I was just turned 15, and you not much later than that.
I went to Germany when I was 15, so
it's
closer, but
so it can be scary, but it's a world of opportunities, and we're very, very, very lucky that we have these opportunities given to us, and we worked so hard for them. But to be able to have incredible support units that help us get through these journeys is, we're very grateful for that.
Do you feel like you matured a lot?
Oh, 100%. A lot of people are like, you're only 17, like really, like 17, like there's so many people, like people think that James is like 30, like people are like, why is he still in junior?
Yeah, I don't take that positively normally. But yeah, it makes you grow up really fast, really fast.
The amount of questions people give us of like, you moved away so young, like how did you do that? Like you just learn on the job. It's kind of it does.
There's no manual. There's not a book you can. I suppose there probably is a book, but you just learn as you go.
Yeah, there's it's definitely hard, but it's made us better humans, 100%. Like the amount of experience and knowledge that like we both have at our ages now compared to if we were both still living at home.
Yeah,
doing
absolutely.
The path everyone is told to do.
Definitely. Like also, like I totally agree that you're very mature also in your answers and your thought progress, and
I'm sorry, I was pushing it a little bit. It's okay. Maybe with the beard, maybe like 25, 26.
Nah, you're like 21, 22, right?
21.
21.
Nowhere near 30.
You're like 21.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Is there any like funny language barrier story, maybe from Britain to the US?
We
definitely a few.
I do pride myself on I haven't picked up an American accent.
Hey, you still have the British accent, yeah.
Other people say for me otherwise.
You do.
I go back to England.
Don't worry, I correct her on it.
Yeah, so I think
the British fans out there.
I know, right? I want to keep the accent, I have a lot of like just American friends. I feel like I'm very influential, so I'm just like, yeah, and then I start picking it up, like, so when I go home, they're like, you sound so American, Phoebe. So I think that would be the main thing. There's definitely a few words,
but language barrier only between us and Jana. She speaks incredible English, but sometimes things are very, very funny. My favorite is most of ballet is conducted in Russian, and we understand it, and she understands mostly English, but resorts back to her mother tongue for ballet. But thrice, no, what she say? When you do three things, she's like, instead of
it was something like that. She's come up with some really funny stuff, but
you're Phoebichka and I'm James Itchk.
Yeah.
Those are our names.
Yeah.
But compared to American, I mean, there's definitely some funny words, but I think
most of our day-to-day is British, isn't it?
I know,
Nick and Penny.
Yeah, we're surrounded by so many British people. But there's definitely some funny conversations coming out of it. The recent one I found out was that I started calling them chicken burgers, and everyone made fun of me for it. And I was at a drive-thru. I was like, "Can I have a chicken burger?" And they're like, "What are you talking about? A chicken burger?" And they were like, "Do you mean a chicken sandwich?" And then everyone just made fun of me, so I'm just like known as chicken burger now.
I would say chicken burger as well. I'm from Germany, but I totally. Yeah.
I was taking a poll and I was like, well, no, this is a chicken sandwich. And it was like a BLT, but like not BLT with like chicken and mayonnaise, your little sandwich. And like, that's a chicken sandwich. And, you put a burger and it's like, that's a chicken burger. But apparently not. So I took a poll, but everyone made fun of me for that. So there's definitely some funny
funny encounters.
Yeah, a few of them. Mm-hmm. But overall, we speak the same language, and I think it's quite funny that we have British accents in America. I think it's an ego boost. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, you're British!" Yeah, I'm very proud of it. So don't want to lose anytime soon.
Okay, let's finish maybe with the tell a little bit what you like to do in your free time apart from skating. What are your hobbies? Do you have free time? Are you studying?
I coach quite a bit actually as well as a lot of time when not training or doing off ice, I'm coaching, which I really enjoy because, you know, skating's really it's kind of a selfish sport in a way. We're always like looking at ourselves or our partner and trying to make things better. And it's just a chance to still be in the sport I love, but it's about somebody else and trying to help that. I really, really enjoy a lot. But then when I'm not doing that, I'm probably on a golf course. I love golf. I actually had a small hiatus from it. I grew up playing and then moving to America, sort of still and sort of moving here new, it's very hard to find those things and find the time. But now I've been here a few years, I'm able to play again and I love it. I love being outside, and the weather here is beautiful, as you can hopefully see. And so just at the weekend, you know, just the weekend being able to go and walk and kind of still exercise and move around in the lovely weather, I love. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you?
For me, I like to sleep. I know that sounds so random, but no, not the most. We'll start again. Sleeping is a great way for my recovery. We like that. But then, you know, other than that, I'm still in school, so I'm doing a lot of schoolwork. So, and you know, I love hanging out with friends. That's one of my main ways of recharging throughout the weekend. I think it's very important to have the balance. It can be so like work orientated that you got to let yourself like have fun a little bit. So having that and going out with friends, and I think that's very important. Definitely love you know, exploring the cities. We're really close. We're very lucky to be close to big cities, New York, Philadelphia, you know. Going there with friends is good fun, and you know, there's so much to do around here. I think it's it's fun. It's nice. But yeah.
So you're still doing school in Britain, like you're doing online school?
Yes. So I'm doing kind of like an international course. I'm doing my A levels, but it's through an international school called Wolsey Hall. They've been great, and you know, I've been doing my school with them for 4 years now. You know, and it's given me the ability to, you know, continue school whilst living in America and not having to go to a school here, because that would obviously eat up away at a lot of time of the day. Yeah, and we're very lucky to be sponsored by them as well. So, you know, that helps financially as well as, you know, getting publicity for them as well. So it definitely is a good team work there. But yeah, still doing A levels, hopefully to be completing them this year. But yeah, that's a goal.
James, are you doing like studying university, or like right now rather concentrating on skating and coaching?
Yeah, no. So I thought about it. I finished school as it were right as COVID started. So I took my final exams just before, so beginning of 2020. So and I knew at that point that I'd be moving to America after to work with Nick and Penny. So I have always had the thought of maybe I'll go to university, and I do have, you know, interest sort of in that way. But right now, I think my time is really occupied, and we're not funded athletes at all. Phoebe's homeschooling financially support us a little bit, and it's a massive help. But ultimately, we fund everything. So if I took the coaching out, and you know, it would be very, very hard to continue to fund what we need to have funded, basically, to be the level we hope to be at. So yeah, not for the time being, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, and ultimately we've moved to America to train as well. So it's you know, we're not
busy enough, like fair
I know,
enough.
exactly.
Yeah,
so
completely.
Yeah,
definitely. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been such a nice talk. Thank you so much. We wish you all the best luck for the next season, and thank you for joining.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.